What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today. This is not a review. This is just us having a little bit of a conversation, kitchen table talk, I guess you would say. And this is actually, before we're going to get into this, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, we're gonna talk about Chasing Dallas, which is on YouTube, shall we? All right, you guys. So I know I did a little video last year about Chasing LA. So I'm not familiar with the Chasing reality, spectrum of TV, TV programmer, right? So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know briefly, just what I see on the YouTube streets, right? With it, it's a lot. It gives part of it feels like to me that it's supposed to be, if we're being honest, it's kind of like a spoof to me, right? It's kind of like a spoof of Real Housewives franchise meets the Love and Hip Hop franchise, and it leans more towards the Love and Hip Hop aspect of television, right? So, Chasing Dallas. How I came to find it, like I said, I've heard of it in passing, but one of my friends and my friend who I work with, we've been friends outside of work, but we go to the office every day and we sit by each other. And so she was like, she took off one day this week because she wasn't feeling good. So she said she just went down a rabbit hole and she started watching this show, Chasing Dallas. I'm like, I've heard of it before, but I've never really just watched it. And number two, I was like, for me being a reviewer, I didn't really want to get on this camera and talk about a show in a city in which I live in, because I'm like, I don't want to on any offset run into any of these people on the street and they want to have words with me because I'm gonna ignore you first and foremost, and then if you put your hands on me, then it's going to go down. So we were talking about it, and she made mention to some places that they filmed at, and they're literally like from where we work and even from my apartment, right? Because my office is like it takes me 20 minutes to get to my office if I walk. If I drive to work, it takes me 5 minutes to get to work. So my apartment is here, my office is there, and then some of the places they filmed at, they're right in that same area too. Like the area that I live in, it's a pretty small place. If you know about it, it's not that big. It's called a town, but this really isn't a town. Like it's more like a block, I would say, so to speak. But I'll talk about it once we get to it because someone has a storyline in my area. That's the only reason why I'm really coming on this camera, right? So I feel like what I want to do here is kind of just go down the line of the cast and just basically tell you guys my thoughts and opinions on them. And then what I'll do is I'll talk about episodes 1 through 3 first, right? And then I'll go in individually and talk about the cast. I think that's how we'll do this. So I binge watched episode 1, 2, and 3, right? And I have a few opinions about some things. I just have a few opinions, and let's see. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, and mostly I want to talk about the drama and the issues, because some of the drama and issues seem very small, very stupid, very minuscule, right? My personal opinion. If you don't like it, that's your problem, right? So, episode 1. The biggest thing that I want to talk about from episode 1 is Robert and Dior. So Robert and Dior have been friends for years, right? You guys can tell me, and I'm actually asking a question. They've been friends for years. So I don't know what happened last season, and I don't care to know what happened last season. I'm not going back and watching last season. I'm just going off of this season, right? But Robert and Dior, if they're good friends, My thing with Robert, let's see how I want to say this. I'm not afraid to say it. Let's see how I want to say this. Damn. My thing with Robert, so he had an issue with Dior, right? He was talking to the guy Trey. The issue, I get it. If you feel like your friend didn't show up to support you, I'm cool with that. That you upset with your friend for not showing up to support you, right? I get that. I understand that. That might have been episode 2. Either way it go, I get you having the issue with your friend. But if you guys have been friends for X amount of years and you have his phone number, now granted, I do know that he said that he had texted him and the text message went green. Y'all do know that when you text somebody, if they blocked you, it's not gonna go green. When they block you, it's not going to be delivered. That's what it is. If you have an iPhone and someone's text messages turn green, that means that they changed their number or they got an Android. That's typically what that means, right? But then at the same time, if you feel like he blocked you, you guys have friends in common. So why not say, hey, tell Dior that, I need to talk to him. I need to holler at him. And if y'all follow each other on Instagram, DM him and be like, hey, my nigga, like, I had a party and you didn't show up to it. Like, what's the deal? Just wondering, why can't we do that? Just wondering, right? So then I want to talk about something else real quick. Jeff. That photo shoot you did in the first episode, you talking about you giving bad bitch in somebody's house? I don't see too many people, I don't see anybody who does a photo shoot at someone's house. They don't have a studio. Never mind, I'm gonna let it go. So with Jeff, the issues with him and Sean, the dumbest shit I've ever saw in my life. It is so fucking stupid. Ridiculously dumb. I don't even know what the issue is with them. It feels like because one shaded, one didn't, like, it just feels like it's high school. It's dumb. Because he didn't, you a rapper, he's a fashion blogger, and you said he don't give fashion, which, I mean, shit, did he tell a lie? Sean doesn't give fashion. Nothing about Sean screams fashionable. Period. Point blank. Nothing about him screams fashionable. So I'm thinking off the top of my head, you guys, because I didn't take any notes, so I'm just going off of what I remember. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? The Trey guy. Well, we'll talk about him when I get to how, my opinions of the cast. Let's talk about DeAndre. You're in the same boat for me with Jeff and Sean. Like, it feels like a lot of y'all are just pulling shit out of your ass at this point, because nothing is really happening for y'all to have issues with each other. Like, DeAndre got an issue with Sean. He got an issue with this person. He got an issue with that person. He got an issue with this person. It's like, nigga, sit down somewhere and shut the fuck up, right? Got an issue with, I cannot pronounce this man's name, Kesey. You got an issue with him. You got an issue with Dior. You might want to take a look in the mirror, and it might be you. Might just be you, my dude. Because in episode 3, when you got your ass handed to you, you got what you deserved. I mean, he beat the brakes off of you, and rightfully so. Shit, you charged at him, he swung on you. So, and then for your friend to jump in because you getting your ass beat, I was happy that Astro jumped into that fight. And I'm happy about that. What else I want to talk about? I'm just thinking, you guys, real quick. What happened in episode 2? Tedley, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say. Who was George? Because him and Tedley were going back and forth at one point, and it just sounded so dumb. Some of these arguments make no sense to me. some of these arguments are just like, really? How old are y'all? And that's a legit question. I know some of them are in their 20s. Sean, you're 25? You don't give it. You look much older than any 25. But yeah, Tedley and the George guy, they were going back and forth at a birthday party. Why y'all going back and forth to someone's birthday party? Make it make sense. I want to get back on Sean. Fashion blogger. Fashion blogger. All of your clothes give thrift store. All of your clothes give hand-me-down because they are ill-fitted. They're horrible, terrible, atrocious. But you're a fashion blogger. Good luck to you with that one. Is there anything else that I want to discuss? Not really. Not really. So I'm gonna pause right here and we're just gonna go ahead and just give my opinions on the cast. All right, you guys, so the first person that I want to talk about is Dior. With Dior, so again, like I said, you guys, I don't know anything about the first 3 seasons, so I don't know if people liked Dior or not. If he was on I'm obviously he was on season 3, right? I don't know if people like him or dislike him, and honestly, don't give a damn. So you guys can be like, oh, he this and he that, or oh, he's this. And I don't know, don't care, right? From what I see of him on the show so far, I actually like what I see so far. He seems like he's someone who is level-headed, stays out of the drama, because at Trey's colors party, you know, when DeAndre says something, Dior was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let that shit pass by, right? And I'm cool with that, right? But then DeAndre said, wait, what was that you said? Nigga, I'm talking to them, not you. If you heard it, oh the fuck well, right? So I will say I like Dior. Let's see, who's the next person on my list? And I'm gonna put pictures up as well. But again, most of y'all probably know them. Tedley. The only thing that I want to say with Tedley is whatever this is right here, this rug that you got on your head, burn it. It's ugly as hell. It's the ugliest shit I've ever saw in my life, right? But as far as Tedley goes, I don't really have any feelings toward him, so to speak. I have no feelings toward him. So we'll see. Sean. I don't like Sean. Sean comes off a bit arrogant, a bit pretentious, snobbish, stuck up, think he's the shit. Like, he's just not a likable character for me. He thinks too highly of himself, and you really shouldn't. You think you're it. You think you the one. And that's all I got to say. Sean ain't it. Sean is not somebody that I see it for. Kesey, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. I think he seems like a cool guy, you guys. He seems cool. He wasn't bothering nobody until DeAndre walked up on him and wanted to fight him. You know, honestly, I feel like with DeAndre, I think you got mad about that goddamn shirt. I wasn't invited. Laugh. Like, it ain't that deep. And then everybody kept saying he was the one that called you a fan. It was Dior. So why don't you have an issue with the person that called you the goddamn fan? That's the dumb shit that don't make sense to me. That's the dumb shit that don't make any sense to me, right? Kesey, or again, if I'm pronouncing your name, I apologize. I know he said he's from East Texas. I do wonder what part of East Texas, because I keep looking at his face and I'm like, I recognize this man. I saw him before. I feel like I saw him at the club. I feel like I saw him back in my club days when I used to go to Club Rio in my hometown of Tyler, Texas on Thursday nights for college night. I feel like I saw him before. And I know I've saw him before. I'm almost positive. Next up, you guys, Jet Jeff. I don't really have any feelings towards him. None. No feelings. We'll see. Trey. Trey is messy. That's all I gotta say about Trey. Trey is messy. Messy. Very messy. And I'm here for it. Because the fact that he kept mentioning that Dior and Kesey, again, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. He kept announcing that they kissed more than once, and he's volunteering information. You stirring the pot. Pot stir. And I'm again, I don't have an issue. I'm cool with it, right? The next person I want to talk about is DeAndre. Mr. DeAndre, I have a few things for you. Because you're the reason that I actually wanted to do this video in the first place, because your entire storyline is a fucking lie. So, let's start with DeAndre's storyline, right? So DeAndre is new to Dallas from Atlanta, right? He had his friend, what is his name? What's his name? Because I saw him on WeTV on T.S. Madison's show. I know he was recently on The Circle. His name is, damn it, I can't think of his name right now. What is his name? Y'all can put it in the comments. Y'all know his name. I don't know his name. I know his name, but I can't think of it right now. And it's something so easy, but I can't think of it. But whatever his name is, again, I don't mean anything that I'm saying is not to be taken too hard. I just don't remember his name. I just don't remember his name. And I saw him on YouTube because he's interviewed some of the former top models. He's talked about their experience on the show. What the fuck is his name? And y'all gonna put it in the comment section, so I'll let it sit there, right? But DeAndre, so your friend from Atlanta came here, right? You talking about how you want to open up a lounge in the Addison area. So I'm gonna poke all kind of holes in his storyline, right? So he did say that there's not much of a nightlife over here in Addison. That's a lie. It's not a big booming nightlife over here in Addison, but there is a nightlife, right? We don't have any clubs over here. Well, we did, like there was a little club over here. It's the African Club, like not too far from my apartment. It's right up the street from my apartment, but they've closed it and they've now gutted it. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it, right? But in my area, there are a whole lot of bars, right? They've even filmed at a few places over in my area. There's a place called Raw Sushi that they filmed at. It's right up the street from my apartment, right? They filmed at the scene in episode 3 when Sean and Jeff met up. It's also in the same shopping center that this Raw Sushi place is at, right? Then the place that Trey, DeAndre, and the boy from Atlanta, the place that they were looking at for him to open this lounge, they're in the same area. Like when I told you, so like I said, Addison is not that big. It's pretty small. Because so if you guys are not familiar with Dallas, Dallas is really weird about their zonings, right? So where I live at, it's literally Addison, right? But if you go maybe 5 miles east or west, if you go 5 miles east, you could be in Dallas or Plano. Either way, like you can go one way, you can be in Plano. You can go one way, you can be in Richardson. You can go one way, you can be in Dallas. You can go one way, you can be in Carrollton. So it's not, and even when you get to those little surrounding cities, like the zoning in Dallas is the dumbest that I've ever saw in my life. It's the dumbest zoning, right? So the little place that he went and looked at, the Addison Improv, is in that same shopping center, right? And he mentioned the Addison Improv, but he's talking about he wanted to open up that place by March. It's March. That place still has a lease sign on it. So, where's your lounge, sir? I would love to know what happened to your lounge, because it's not open. That place is still just as deserted as it was when you set foot in that motherfucker. So your storyline, bullshit. Bullshit. So the next person that we're going to talk about is Kiki. She seems like a sweet girl, right? I actually like her. I want them to show a little bit more of her because they, in the first episode, I think, they showed her, and she was talking about how she's done ballroom and stuff like that. And I want to see more of her. I want to see more of Kiki. Astro, I do like Astro, you guys. Astro's a cool kid, and I say kid because he's younger than I am, so he's cool. I do with Astro. I love the fact that when Kesey got into the fight with DeAndre and his friends jumped in, I love the fact that Astro just immediately jumped up and started whooping ass. Is his name Lon D, you guys? I don't really know too much about him because I haven't saw him, so I have no opinions one way or the other about him. And Robert is the last person that we're going to talk about. I like Robert. I think Robert is a cool person. So that's really all I got for Chasing Dallas, you guys. I don't know that I'm going to do reviews of this show. I just felt the need to come on here and tell you guys that DeAndre's story is bullshit. He's lying to you. It's bullshit. Bullshit. But that's it, you guys. Let me know if you guys watch Chasing Dallas. I mean, if you guys want to get down in the comments and tell me things that happened in the previous seasons, you guys feel free to do so. I've told you guys that I do know some people who were on Chasing Dallas. One person, I think he called himself King Kane on the show. I know him, and like I told you guys with Chasing LA, I knew D Hawkins. Now I don't know them by either one of those names. I know them by their government names, Damien and Cedric. That's what I know them by. But other than that, I don't know anybody else on these shows. So hopefully I don't run into these people. If I do, it is what it is. I ain't really worried about it. But yeah, that's it, you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. So stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Now, again, like I told you guys, I'm not making a promise that I'm going to review this show. But I may pop on here next week because next week we're going to get the continuation of the fight with Kesey and DeAndre. And again, sir, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. And then DeAndre's going to get into it with Sean. Two people that I just don't fucking like. Bye, guys.